Okay, so hello guys and welcome to this new episode of IQ Option Tutorial. And today we're going to be looking at how to use MACD indicator to tell or to predict the direction of a trend. So, for example, we shall be using 12 hour as of course, as our trading time interval, and we have our candlesticks placed, and that's the color red or maroon representing downtrend and green candlesticks representing uptrend. So first of all, we're gonna have to start by placing the MACD indicator on screen. So the normal use of MACD indicator is actually which is actually the by default 226 and 9, but in this tutorial I'll be teaching you a very new method of editing the MACD, of course, parameters to make sure that it gives quicker trends and more perfect trends. So let's work on it. First of all, let's press it on screen, press show. It will show on screen. So by default it comes with MACD parameter 226 and 9. And if you go into its settings, the first period at 2, the slow period at 26, and the signal period at 9. So the display colors are actually the same, but you might want to increase on its, of course, thickness of the line such that you can be able to see the visibility of the lines. Then the signal line will be represented by red color or maroon, and the MACD line will be represented by a green color. So the baseline is white as usual, and therefore we can start off. So looking at the basic settings, this is what I wanted to edit. So the first period is 2 and the slow period is 26, and of course the signal period being 9. So you find that it's a default. If you happen to click on by default, see how it comes by default. So it comes by default with the first period of 12, a slow period of 26, and the signal period of 9. So we're going to be changing this default setting to about, we just want to change the first period to about 2, which happens to be not usual. Most people use it as it is by default, but we're going to be changing this first period to 2, and that's how we're going to see the magic happening in MACD using the first period as 2. So back to the current display, of course it has changed. We have to take it back to our default. As you can know, it comes as by default, the MACD line being green, so I mean blue. We shall have changed it to green just like we had it previously. The thickness of the line should be very thick such that you can see what you do. So this is what we have as for the color and display settings. Now let's apply this. So this is what we have here. In order to see it very well, we have to increase the height of course the indicator section, and now you can clearly see that we have the green line, which is the MACD line, and the red line, which is the signal line. And of course in terms of course the library, if you look at the MACD library, these bars are represented as in terms of hist. They call it hist. So if they are above the baseline, this is our baseline here, if they are above the baseline, so maybe I can get some line here to represent the baseline, the baseline being a little bit thick. So this is our baseline here, and just mark it off. Okay, so now that we have our baseline, you can go ahead and of course apply something else. So that's our baseline there, and whatever is above, or whatever bar is above, represents a positive hist, and whatever bar is below the baseline represents a negative hist. Now a positive hist is actually a representation of an uptrend, and the negative hist is a representation of a downtrend. That's why the negatives are in red and the positives are in green. So while we have a green in the downward section, it represents kind of a resistance into the downtrend, and therefore at that point, yes, we are kind of in downtrend, but we are turning, so it could be a turning point heading into an uptrend. So you can just see clearly that from the red bar, which is a downtrend, having a green bar or a green hist below the baseline would automatically mean that you can see the candlestick, there is a change in a trend, the direction of a trend into an uptrend. So that said, now the reaction moments where we have the maximum effort is actually when the green line and red line, or the MACD line and the signal line, cross each other. As you can see at this point, green line is crossing to the above section and red line are crossing to the below section, representing that, of course, the green line, which is the MACD line, represents the uptrend, and the signal line, which is the red line, represents the downtrend. So the one that is above is actually representing the trend that is happening currently. So let me first change these bars. You can change to hurricane candlesticks. As you can see at this point, you had the green line, which is the MACD line, crossing to the above section, and therefore starting a very good uptrend. So the same thing happened here. You can see the uptrend started on this candlestick, which is about at 10:03:15, and it proceeded at this point. So the same thing applied here. You can see the red line, or which is the signal line, crossing the above section, and therefore we have a downtrend. So same thing will continue happening as long as you have the green line on the above section. It means the uptrend is actually heavier. So at its point of crossing, you can see that immediately we headed into an uptrend. Or you can put this to maybe the below time intervals of 1 hour and probably 15 minutes, such that you can see it clearly. Okay, now you can see it very clearly in 15 minutes. Look at this. At this point, we had the hist crossing to the below section of the baseline, and of course representing downtrend. And at the same point, we have the signal line. The signal line, which is red, crossing the above section and also leaving the baseline. The MACD line, which is green, in the below section, and that means that the downtrend started at this point. So you can see if you entered at this candlestick, probably made some profits until this candlestick and also this candlestick, all are still in the downtrend. So that said, this is actually the simplest format of how you can use a MACD to make quick profits on IQ option. This is actually the most perfect indicator in IQ option. Of course, considering all factors constant, because you have some other indicators that we're going to be covering in of course, the upcoming videos. Now, the other indicator that actually I'm going to cover, that's why I'm saying that you have to stick to these videos and subscribe to the channel, such that you always come and we can show you the most perfect indicators that can help you to tell the direction of a trend and predict trends that are upcoming, and therefore you can make more profits. So next we shall be talking about an indicator called net volume, which happens to be a very good indicator, and also we shall also be talking about another indicator called Aaron, which is the Aaron trend, not Aaron, or not the Aaron momentum, but Aaron trend. So we can just differentiate them from here. Once you go for trend, you will see the Aaron trend here, not the Aaron momentum, the Aaron oscillator for momentum. So we shall be using the Aaron trend in the next video also to show the direction of the trend. But as per now, using the MACD, so after of course you finishing the MACD tutorial, also the Aaron tutorial, you can combine them together and use them at the same time as a strategy. Of course, that's what we're also going to be doing. I also make another video showing you how to combine the 2 or 3 indicators to make one strategy, and therefore giving you one entry point, and that makes all sense and automatically will be putting you into profits. So that said, you can also use only this MACD to tell the direction of a trend. This is a strong indicator that most people use to tell or predict the direction of a trend. So as you can see at this point, we have a hist of a negative hist, so that's why the trend is actually kind of moving into downtrend. So it actually tells the direction of the trend perfectly. You can visit your history to confirm this. You can see at this point here, you have a downtrend starting at that point. Then you have an uptrend starting at this point where the MACD line crossing the above section, leaving the signal line in the below section. So we have a very good uptrend starting there. Also having the bars or the his bars into the positive section or the above section of the baseline. Something happens here, something happens here, something happens here. So these are the entry points. The point where we have the intersection of the two lines is actually the entry point. As you can see, green moving to above section, so we enter an uptrend at this point. At this point, we enter an uptrend, at this point, downtrend, at this point, downtrend, at this point, uptrend, at this point, downtrend. So you can see very many trends within 15 minutes. Here, uptrend, then here downtrend, here uptrend. I will leave the uptrend at this point where we have a downtrend also starting. So this is a simple formula you can use. Make sure you edit your MACD back to its to the settings that you use, which is MACD2, not MACD default. So thank you for watching. I think I'll see you in the next videos where we shall be talking about more indicators that actually make profits or can help you predict at least the direction of the trend. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and also like the video.